And what is going on, my Houston Texans family? Hope you all are having a blessed Saturday. We are about 24 hours from the Houston Texans taking on the Tennessee Titans at Tennessee. And if you are looking for a place to watch the game, we'll look no further because me and the boys, Harley and AD, will be doing a live watch party with former Houston Texan Amobi Okoye. We would be at the Bombshells location in Pearland. I'm going to get there as early as 11 o'clock. Guys, it's going to be a scene. Come meet former Houston Texan Amobi Okoye and let's watch a win. I don't know if we had a watch party with the Houston Texans, have got a dub yet. But with that being said, we have the final injury report for tomorrow's game. We also know who's the starting quarterback. Davis Mills Mafia, stand up. Before we get into all this, ladies and gentlemen, episode brought to you and powered by Sleeper. Think you know football, then try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less from your favorite players with more stats than other daily fantasy app. Just choose two or more of your favorite players from pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks win. Use pro Use promo code 713HOU and you get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. Sleeper is also giving you a free $20 entry. No deposit needed. Ladies and gentlemen, the final injury report for the Houston Texans, it goes like this. Linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, who was dealing with a knee issue, limited on Wednesday, full participant the last 2 days. He's good to go. Jalen Petrie dealing with a concussion. He is out. So this is back-to-back weeks without one of your best players on defense. CJ Stroud dealing with a concussion, out. Back-to-back weeks of CJ Stroud being out. Now, I do think this is, kind of a cautionary move by the Houston Texans, and I'll get to that later. Um, Davis Mills, left elbow, right? His left elbow looked like a softball. Full participant all week. He's good and ready to go. Kaimi Fairbairn dealing with a quad. Didn't practice all week. He is out. Now, this is something to monitor because I feel like this could potentially be longer than just 2 games. I'm starting to get worried about Kaimi Fairbairn, guys. Braxton Berrios dealing with a quad. He is okay. Jacob Johnson, elbow, limited full. He's going to be okay. Damon Arnett popped up on the injury list. Did not practice on Friday with the ankle. He is out. Christian Harris. I'm sorry. Jacob Johnson is questionable. It was Jake Hansen who was ready to go. Christian Harris has been dealing with a shin issue, a full participant. Ed Ingram, your starting right guard, dealing with a knee issue, full participant on Wednesday, limited on Thursday, limited on Friday. He's questionable for the game. Titus Howard, concussion, has been a full participant. He's ready to go. Dalton Schultz, shoulder and illness, did not practice, full participant. He's ready to go. Harrison Bryant, dealing with the neck and shoulder, didn't practice. He is out. And Danico Autry, who was dealing with a knee issue, didn't practice on Wednesday, limited on Thursday, full participant yesterday. He's good and ready to go. No, no surprises there. We knew that CJ Stroud, Jalen Petrie, Kaimi Fairbairn probably weren't going to be able to play. Now, I don't mind that the Houston Texans, went cautious if they did go that route. I know the concussion protocol was very weird and it's really not how you feel, but it's what the doctors say. But if the Texans, decided, hey, we're going to take Tennessee off, we're going to make sure two of our best guys are 100% healthy to go because after this game, in just 4 days, it's Thursday night football. Buffalo Bills, MVP Josh Allen, and the Houston Texans an opportunity if they win on Sunday to go to one game above 500 for the first time this year. Crazy. that we started off 0-3, and yet here we are, potentially being 500, potentially being able to go one game above 500 next week against Buffalo. But first, you have to handle Tennessee. So I don't mind if the Houston Texans took the caution route. Now, I did see some fans say, "Oh, you know, CJ's weak." Come on, guys. This is a head injury here. Head injuries are pretty scary and they have long-term effects. So I have no issues with the Houston Texans being cautious with two of their best players. Mills Millie, Davis Mills. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to drop me down below your confidence in Davis Mills against the Tennessee Titans. Now, the way this injury has played out, the injury list, I'm going to assume that Ed Ingram will be ready to go. And if I were going to build a new offensive line for this week, I will go to Trent Brown at right tackle, Titus Howard at left guard, Ed Ingram at right guard, and see how it plays out. Now, if Ed Ingram is not able to go, I would still stick with Trent Brown at right tackle. I would have Titus Howard go to right guard and either Jared Patterson at left guard, or if they're going to do that dumb rotation between Lake and Tomlinson and Juice Scruggs, you know, you also have to factor in that the Texans are going to do what they want to do. And even though I'm putting out two different combinations, they could easily go out there and, say, we're going to keep Juice at right guard. We're not going to play Trent Brown. We're going Titus Howard at right tackle. We're going Juice. I'm sorry. We're going Lakin and Jarrett as a rotation. They could do that, which everyone will be like, all right, it doesn't surprise me that you tried this out. But in a game where you're going up against potentially Jeffrey Simmons, even though he's dealing with a hamstring injury, he was limited the last couple of days, so he will be a game time decision. You saw what he did last time. He had one of the fastest sacks we've ever seen. I think you need to figure out your offensive line this week against Tennessee, so that we can say, all right, CJ Stroud coming back. Who is going to be the starting offense for the playoff push? The starting offensive line, I mean. It's crazy that the Texans are still figuring out their offensive line, but it's not as bad as it was last year, where they were figuring out their offensive line all year. You also have some building blocks on the offensive line. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Rookie Ariante Ursary has been playing fantastic the last 3 weeks. Against Josh Hines Allen, beat him. There's no other way to put it. Josh Hines Allen, who won the first matchup in Jacksonville, was non-existent in Houston. Ariante Ursary also handled himself well against Nick Bonito. Nick Bonito, really wasn't a factor in the game against the Broncos. You look at Titus Howard, he's been doing his thing, being consistent all year. Titus Howard is one of your best offensive linemen. You think you got something potentially in Ed Ingram. He's been playing well all year. Mr. PFF is what Landry Locker likes to call him. But I think solidifying your offensive line for this playoff push is important. We know the defense is going to do defensive things, and that's be one of the best in the league. That is get to the quarterback. That is create turnovers. That is being relentless. That is swarming to the football. This Houston Texans defense is probably the best it's ever been under head coach DeMeco Ryans. This is probably his best defense, which is why it's so frustrating to be where we are now, which is why it's so frustrating to see the offense be inconsistent, because the defensive side is just so damn good. It can win you a Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that lightly. With the offense, as you are one game away from 500, as you are potentially a couple of days away from your playoff push, you got to figure out your O-line. You got to put the best five out there. I really don't want to see the Houston Texans mess around with this rotation at left guard because it's just not going to be successful going forward. You need to find a solidifying starter on the left guard position so that you don't have to have a rotating door. Just think about what that's doing to Ariante Ursery. Now, I didn't really mean for this video to talk, to be about the offensive line, but it's one of the first things that we need to see be effective on Sunday against Tennessee, where we can be confident in this playoff push, right? All right, we got the offensive line. Now let's get our starting quarterback in. Now let's go. Those are the type of conversations we will have. But ladies and gentlemen, we talked about the injury report for this team. We talked about a new offensive line for this team. I cannot wait for Sunday. I will see you guys at the Bombshells location. I love y'all. Episode brought to you powered by Sleeper. Get a 100% match up to $100. Promo code 713HOU. I love y'all. Have a very blessed day.